are going to see the topic performance appraisal modern methods. So modern methods of performance appraisal we have to see today. So as we have noticed one drawback in each method of traditional form, that it suffers from the rater's error, because the all traditional methods are depending upon the ratings of the rater, and there are different errors performed by the rater while rating the appraisal. For example, either the rater will give high scoring to all people just to avoid the criticism and conflicts. Either they will give average ratings to all the people so that there will not be conflict between low or high ratings. Right? So either they will do some kind of biasing, favoritism. So to avoid this kind of raters errors, nowadays modern performance appraisal methods are also used. So in that modern performance appraisal method, the most popular method is management by objectives. So management by objective is the term coined by Peter Drucker in his book in 1954. So MBO requires a manager to goals with each employee and then periodically discuss his or her progress towards these goals. That means performance should be based on the results or the outcomes that are achieved by the employee, not on his skills. The more focus should be given on outcome. So here the MBO is a process. So it is having 5 stages in which there will be review and of the objectives, review of the company objectives. The company will set the objectives first, then that objective will be divided into individual objectives. Because what happens, only by organizational objectives, employees will not get clear idea about their role in achieving that objectives. They always require clear definite role. Just take simple example. Suppose this year the company or the top level have given an objective to the managers to achieve 10% hike in the profit of the last year. So whatever profit they have earned last year, there should be 10% hike in the profit this year. Okay. So if manager will convey this as it is to the employee, that you all have to make the hike of 10% profit. So whether employee will get clear idea about what they have to do to increase the profit by 10%? No. They should know what is their role and what is their individual objectives in fulfilling that one common objective. So individual always require their individual objectives for achieving that common objective. For example, suppose now to earn that more 10% profit, more 1000 products to be sold this year. Whatever products are sold last year, this year more 1000 products to be sold, then company can able to get 10% hike. So now what manager will do, suppose marketing manager will do, suppose they are having 10 salesmen, so marketing manager will divide this objective into individual objectives. He will give target of 100 products to each employee, right? So now employee is having clear idea, what is my role? I have to sell 100 products, right? So here employee now have clear idea that my role is to target the complete the target of 100 products, right? Now this is one concept of MBO, that people should get individual objectives. Now another objective of MBO, another now how performance will be measured on the basis of this individual objectives. Now Suppose out of this 10 employees, 2 employees have completed the target of 100 products, but the remaining 8 employees not completed the target of 100 products, and because of that company is not able to gain that 10% hike because the 8 employees have not completed the target. But the 2 employees have completed their individual target, the individual objective of 100 products. So why they should not get the return of that? Why they will suffer for that remaining 8 employees? Because they have given their effort, they have given their full dedication in completing their target. So why they will suffer because of remaining 8 people? So that is the main concept of MBO, that people should be appraised on the basis of their individual objectives, not on the basis of the organizational objectives. So this is a simple concept of MBO. So here you can see the steps involved in MBO, like starting period. So at the starting period of the um production or starting period of the service, review and define objective. Every year company will review the previous objectives and they will define the new objectives. Like I have already said that previous year whatever profit was there, now 10% hike is a new objective. So review and define the objectives and then set employee objective. Now whatever objective is defined by the organization, that is to be distributed among the individual objective. Employee should know what is their role in achieving that objective, what is their target in achieving that objective. So divide this common objective into individual employee objectives and monitor the progress of each employee, whether they are going to achieve their individual objectives or not. Then evaluate the performance. So after monitoring the performance, evaluate the performance, measure the performance, whether they have achieved their individual objectives or not, and if yes, then reward the employees. So the employees who will achieve their individual objectives, they should be given reward. So this is the concept of management by objectives, that people performance should be measured on the basis of their individual objective completion and reward should be given on the basis of that individual objective completion. Now another interesting and popular method is behaviorally anchored rating scales, that is most commonly known as bars. So we have already seen rating scale, graphics rating scale method in traditional method, in which people are rated on the basis of their different abilities and behaviors, right? Like their punctuality, their teamwork, their sincerity, productivity, discipline. But here bars are the description of various degrees of behavior with regard to a specific performance dimension. So here we will not rate on the different behavior, but here we will just make the scaling of the same kind of performance dimension. So different degrees of behavior the people can show for a specific performance dimension. Like salesman. Now what different behavior a salesman can show, what different behavior a labor can show in the production department. So different behaviors shown by a particular employee under the particular performance dimension. So a subset of incidents, usually 6 to 7 per cluster, is used as a behavioral anchor for the final performance dimension. And finally, a bars instrument with vertical scales is drawn to be used for performance appraisal. Okay, so 6 to 7 shades of behavior of an employee in particular performance dimension will be prepared, and this is arranged in a vertical way starting from extremely good to extremely poor, and according to the behavior shown by the employee, he will be rated on this scales. So here I have given a simple example of behaviorally anchored rating scale. Suppose this is the behaviorally anchored rating scales, different scales for the marketing people, the people who are in sales department. So we can see here the scales are listed from extremely good to extremely poor manner, and behavior that is for extremely good is can expect trainee to make valuable suggestions for increased sales and to have positive relationship with customers all over the country. So this employee can make uh, can give the valuable suggestions to the company for how to increase the sales. He can suggest different promotional activities, different advertisement ideas, and he can build the positive relationship with the customers all over the country. So that is extremely good performance we can expect. That's why it is rated on 7 scale. The next behavior is for good scale, that is can expect to initiate creative ideas for improved sales. So here we can expect from the employee to initiate creative ideas for the improved sales. So here he can apply some kind of creative ideas for improving the sales. So that is good performance. Now coming to next is above average performance scale, can expect to keep in touch with the customers throughout the year. So we can only expect from this person that he can keep the touch with the customers throughout the year. After that, average performance shown is on the 4th scale, that is can manage with difficulty to deliver the goods in time. So we can only expect from this person that somehow he will able to manage to deliver the goods to the customer in time. Okay, now coming to next is below average. So here we can only expect to unload the trucks when asked by the supervisor. So this person will only unloading the trucks when asked by the supervisor. So he is not giving any extra effort or giving any extra suggestion. So he is only looking after the loading and unloading of the trucks whenever supervisor will ask him to do so. So that is below average performance. After that is a poor performance. In poor performance, we can only expect from the employee to inform only a part of customer. So he will keep in touch with the some part of the customer, few customers. That is poor performance. And extremely poor, now this person we can expect from him to take extended coffee breaks and roam around purposelessly. Means this person will not do anything, he will just make the excuses from his work, he will just enjoy the coffee breaks and roam around the purposelessly. So this is an extremely poor performance. So here we have taken one performance dimension, that is sales, and we have categorize the different scalings on the basis of extremely good performance and extremely poor performance. So this is called behaviorally anchored rating scales. Now the next performance appraisal method is assessment centers. Now assessment center is a central location the company will have for assessing the performance of the manager level people. So generally this method is followed for promotional decision, as we already seen that there are different objectives of performance appraisal. It's not always for the increment purpose, it's not always for the training purpose, it is also for making the decisions regarding promotion, right? So many times when a company is thinking for the higher level promotions, they can assess the performance of their manager level people, executive people, through this assessment centers. So there will be full setup for the assessment at these centers. So the introduction of this concept as a method of performance appraisal is traced back in 1930s in Germany, used to appraise in its army officers. So this concept has arisen in 1930s in Germany and it is used to appraise the army officers. The concept then traversed from the army to business area during 1960s. And this concept of assessment center is of course a new concept in India nowadays. So in India, the Tata, Crompton, Graves, Eicher, Hindustan Lever and Modi Xerox, these are the few companies who have already adopted this technique of performance evaluation. Even Tata is also having their assessment center at Mumbai. So in business field, assessment centers are mainly used for evaluating executive or supervisory potential. So by definition, assessment center is a central location where managers come together to participate in well-designed simulated exercises. So if company will have 5 capable people and they have to promote any one among that, so they can call these 5 people from different location of the company, and they will stay there for 2 to 3 days. They will undergo some different kinds of exercises at that assessment center, and at the end their performance will be evaluated and the most competent people will be selected for the promotion. So they are assessed by senior managers supplemented by psychologist and HR specialist for 2 to 3 days. Even here, the senior managers will also assess their performance while they are undergoing the exercises, and plus the psychologist will also play a role in assessing the managers. Now, what is the role of psychologist here? Because here we are thinking of the promoting the people to the upper level. So they should have the motivational skills, decision making skills. They should have the leadership skills, right? Because they are going to handle the people under them. So their psychological parameters should be studied, and for that purpose, psychologist can also take a part in this assessment. Psychologist will evaluate the different abilities of the people, the motivational skills, the leadership skill, problem solving skills. Okay. Now, assessee is asked to participate in basket exercise, work groups, simulations, and role playing, which are essential for successful performance of the actual job. So, what are the different exercises played in this? In basket exercise, which we have already seen, then work groups, simulation, that is vestibular training, and role playing, which are essential for uh, successful performance at higher level jobs. Okay. The next is having recorded the assessor's behavior, the raters meet to discuss their pooled information and observations, and based on it they give their assessment about the assessee. So whenever the people will undergo these exercises, their performance will be observed and evaluated, and the raters then will meet together, they will compile their information, and then they will give their assessment about the assessee. So at the end of the process, feedback in terms of the strengths and weaknesses is provided to the assessee and also to the top level for making the promotional decision. So this is the assessment center method of measuring the performance for managerial or executive level people. Now, next method of modern performance appraisal is 360-degree appraisal. So this is developed and formally used by General Electric Company of USA in 1992. And in India, the companies like Reliance, Wipro, Infosys, Thermax, Thomas Cook, uh, these are the few names which are using this method of appraising the performance. So under 360-degree appraisal, as the name itself suggests, 360-degree appraisal, that means from each corner of the employee, feedback will be taken. Now from each corner means the employee's superior will also give the feedback, subordinates of that person will also give the feedback, peers of that person will also give the feedback, then top management will also give the feedback, the person himself will also give the feedback on his own performance, and customers, if that person is in direct touch with the customers, then customers can also give the feedback. If this person is in touch with the suppliers, then suppliers can also give the feedback. So feedback will be taken from all the sides of the person. So this feedback based method is generally used for ascertaining training and development requirements rather than for pay increases. Okay, so this technique is generally not used for deciding the increment hikes, but this technique is basically used for identifying the training and development needs. Because when we will take the feedback from the peers regarding the person coordination and communication, if the peer will give the feedback that the person is not supportive and cooperative, then he should require some kind of counseling. Now if the customer is will give the feedback on the employee, like the behavior of the employee is not that so good, the communication skill is not that much good, or the person is not having the product knowledge, so again training will be provided to that employee, right? So basically this 360-degree appraisal method is uh, important for identifying the training and development needs that employee require. Now the last method in modern methods of performance appraisal is a cost accounting method. So cost accounting method evaluates an employee's performance from the monetary benefits the employee gets to his or her organization. So here performance will be measured in monetary form, like what contribution or what return the employee is giving to the organization. So this is ascertained by establishing a relationship between cost involved in retaining the employee and the benefits an organization derives from him or her. So here company will derive a relationship between the cost or the money invested in that person and the benefits that person is giving in back to the organization. Like there are different costs involved in managing and maintaining the people at workplace, like their salaries, their working conditions, their extra benefits. So there are different training and development. So different costs are involved in retaining the people at workplace. So if company is investing this amount of money in the employee, then definitely employee should also give something back. So the relationship between this investment and return on that investment will be calculated. So while evaluating an employee's performance under this method, the following factors are taken into consideration. One is unit wise average value of production or service. Now the number of products produced or the number of products sold by the person, a number of services delivered, the value of the service delivered by the person, then the quality of product produced or service rendered. So not only numbers, but quality is also equally important. So only producing a number of products, but there will not be quality, so that is of no use. So the number of products or the number of services given by the person and the quality of that product produced or the quality of the service rendered, that is also taken into consideration. Then overhead cost incurred, so any extra cost incurred for rendering or producing the products or services. Then next is accidents, damages, errors, spoilage, wastage, cost through unusual wear and tear. So because of that employee's negligence or the mistakes, if there are any accidents or damages made to the machines, if there are any errors in the calculations, if there is a spoilage of raw material, spoilage of or the wastage of raw material cost because of that employee's negligence, that loss will also be considered, and human relationship with others. Now how that person is maintaining his relationship with the colleagues, with the boss, with the subordinates at workplace, that is also taken into consideration. So this is called the cost accounting method.